Good morning. Oh, hey, good morning. Another fucking day of this. I've been awake since probably 5 o'clock in the morning, lying in my bed, wishing I could sleep some more. Hey, Scott. Thanks for joining. Thanks for clicking the like button. Feeding the animals right quick. Guess I should feed myself. Got a bunch of these 50-cent pies from Walmart. Been having one for breakfast every day for the past several days. How are you doing today? Me, I'm not too good. Really wish I could sleep longer. I know I've had enough sleep, but like, I still just don't want to be awake, man. My life is like a fucking nightmare. I'm just tired of it. Tired of living. Tired of these fucking flies. Fucking everywhere. Literally, they're just fucking everywhere. So fucking irritating. Well, thanks for stopping by, Scott. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with myself today. Got another reminder on Facebook. This time a memory of this gingerbread house I helped the girls build. Because I was fucking Mr. Mom. Every time they had a school project, every time they had a little thing they wanted to do, I was the one who did it with them. Go on. It seems like Facebook wants to remind me of the life I used to have every single day. What am I going to do? Not get on Facebook? It's like the only other social interaction I get besides here is on Facebook. But it keeps on every day showing me the memories I have to look back on. You know how it does the memories thing. And every day it's something either with my wife or with the girls. It's like no matter how much I convince myself to let go, I go to sleep and I have dreams about them or something. And then I wake up just missing them all over again. And it takes like waking up and talk myself into sanity, convincing myself all over again that I have to let go, that I have to move on, that there's no way they're coming back. My brain just can't fucking wrap around it. And once again, I gotta deal with these fucking flies. They're just all over the damn place now. I don't have any other social interaction besides fucking Facebook. All my friends from New Orleans are there. I can't make money because I can't find a good job out here. My car barely works. I can't commute. I have to find something nearby or I just can't make it to work. And I'm still waiting on the fucking service advisor position just to be able to have like a halfway decent job. Stop making excuses. Really? I'm on the verge of fucking suicide and you're gonna tell me to stop making excuses? I'm fucking borderline suicidal, okay? Stop making excuses is not something that you tell someone who's borderline suicidal. The fuck is wrong with you? Just make money, huh? Just pull it out of my ass, huh? Like I haven't fucking applied to every goddamn place within range of my fucking vehicle. There are no jobs around here. You can ask anybody. Fucking this giant paper plant just got shut down and fucking 700 something people got laid off. So now I'm competing with 700 fucking people all looking for a job. There are no jobs around here, man. Believe me, I've been fucking looking. Making me already need a fucking second cigarette. Yeah, well, with 7 years of grocery experience, I couldn't get one of the grocery stores around here to hire me, even though I was stopping by every fucking day, every fucking morning, going into those grocery stores saying, hey, you ready to hire me yet? Hey, you ready to hire me yet? I brought them coffee and donuts and shit, okay? Done everything I fucking can just to try to get a grocery job. I'd be happy with a grocery job. But I hand out fucking samples, okay? I hand out samples at Walmart. It's the most tedious, degrading fucking job ever. And they don't give me enough hours to make any money. That's the only fucking job I could get. Yeah, that's all I'm managing to do. It's not worth a fuck. I've been awake since 5 o'clock this morning because I went to bed way too early last night because I can't stand being fucking awake. My wife, who was my absolute world, she fucking meant everything to me, left me for another man. And the way she left me, unfucking imaginable. I'm not making excuses because I don't got anybody to make any fucking excuses to. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I'm telling you how it is, because that's fuck how it is. And we had invested a lot of money into the CRV, and my car just sat there. Okay, my car just fucking sat there because all it was being used for was to take the girls from fucking here to the bus stop in the morning. That's all my car was good for, was from here to the bus stop in the morning. I don't really have anything I can sell on eBay except for my guitar and my keyboard, and I'm not trying to let go of my only instruments. Just in case one day I decide to play music again. What am I gonna do? Give up on music forever? And they're both in such poor condition, I probably couldn't get much money for them. So what's the point of that? Like I said, my only financial hope is this fucking service advisor job. But they're not going to be opening the shop until July at the earliest. So he told me to come back on July 1st. So I'm just waiting around for that, I guess. I'm trying not to fucking off myself in the meantime. I moved out here just for those kids. The only fucking reason I am way the fuck out here in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere, was for those kids. One of which I thought was my daughter. And now I'm being told she's not my fucking daughter. I feel like my fucking family was killed in a car accident, okay? Only worse, because 2 out of 3 just doesn't want to fucking see me anymore. And the other isn't allowed to. It doesn't matter how good of a dad I was, how good of a husband I was, when I was doing good. I'm talking about before my mom died. I thought I could be a little depressed when my mom died, and I was wrong. Because my wife fucking cheats. She's a cheater. She's always cheated. And she fucking just found another man that fucking had more money than me, and she left me for him. Trying to work on myself. I never stop working on myself. What am I supposed to do? I'm so broke I can't even afford food. I'm not gonna go selling shit just to feed myself. I'm waiting for the one job opportunity I know of. I've been working on myself though, that's why I've been doing fucking 40 push-ups every day. My fucking dog's old and sick and I can't afford to take him to the vet. Can't even afford to have his fucking nails trimmed. I'm sorry about your mom though. I didn't have a good relationship with my mom. And after she died, well, the way I took out my depression was trying to fucking plan a real estate business. Trying to get us ahead in the world. Trying everything I could from home to make a better life for us. And my wife acted like I was doing the right thing until she just decided that I wasn't. And she threw it all in my face. But it's like, yeah, generic little fucking mantras are like, work on yourself. A generic mantra like, work on yourself, sounds really nice, and I'm sure it makes you feel better about yourself to say it. But there's not much I can fucking do. Check the job listings every day and see the same fucking job listings that I can't fucking qualify for. Work from home stuff that requires a bachelor's degree, for fuck's sake. You got a college degree. I come on here for friendly people to keep me company, not to be bitched out by somebody who thinks they fucking know all the solutions. Yeah, you're 23. You got your whole fucking life ahead of you. I'm pushing 40, and I feel like my life is over. But seriously, if you got a college degree, you ought to get on there and teach English to the Chinese kids, okay? Because that shit pays some money. I can't do that because I don't have a bachelor's degree. But if you got a college degree, you ought to be teaching English kids. You ought to be teaching Chinese kids English instead of bitching me out for being depressed. Telling me I'm making excuses. I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to keep my fucking sanity here, and that's not helpful. My spine's broken in 3 places. I'm fucking diagnosed fucking bipolar schizophrenic. I don't think I'm actually diagnosed schizophrenic, but I feel like I'm fucking going schizo. These fucking dreams I keep having make me feel schizo. But I got my head stomped on by a 450-pound motherfucker while I was trying to sleep. And since then, my brain doesn't entirely work as well as it used to. So I can't do much of the work that I used to do. And the one fucking job I found that I actually qualify for doesn't start for another month. At least. And I've been to all the little service shops asking fucking most of the little service shops around here, like it's the guy who owns it that runs the desk, or his wife runs the desk. And they hire mechanics only, and I can't be a mechanic because my fucking back is broken. I can barely work on my own cars. Definitely can't work full time on somebody else's. I know how, but that doesn't fucking help my back. So why aren't you teaching Chinese to fucking kids online if you got a college degree? Making excuses? No, he fucking doesn't. Hell, I've lived with depression for a long time, okay? And the only fucking cure I had, the only time I ever wasn't depressed my whole life, was because of this woman who just left me. And again, generic little mantras might make you feel better, might make you feel like you're a superior person helping somebody in need, but you're not helping. It's really easy for a 23-year-old to come up with generic solutions that don't apply to me. I got to remember to do things like start my car in the middle of the week. I got to start my car today. No, guys, I drove it yesterday. I drove it on Monday. I don't have to start it today. I'm going to start it tomorrow or find something to do Friday. so the battery doesn't get weak and wind up not starting on me when I gotta go to work. Because I got left with the car that barely runs. And she got the CRV. And then her new boyfriend let her trade it in for a brand new fucking car. It's not a matter of me not seeing the fucking forest for the trees. That's how the saying actually goes. I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't fucking with no broke niggas. When I had money, she was fucking with me. When my family was chipping in, she was fucking with me. When my mom died and she could collect all the damn and spend all the damn money that my mom left me, that was all well and good. But that money ran out, and then she ran out. Now I'm stuck in the fucking middle of nowhere. In the middle of damn nowhere. Why don't you look up the zip code 70777 and see how much in the middle of nowhere it is. The nearest town is Zachary, and that's where I've been trying to look for a job. And if I can't even get a grocery store to hire me, man, fuck. I don't even know what to do, because I've never been to the point where a grocery store wouldn't hire me. Until now. And even fucking Walmart hasn't called me back for an interview. That's fucked up. Anyways, welcome viewers number 1, 2, and 3. Whoever hasn't, feel free to say hello in the chat. You might have gotten a job. That's excellent news, Mr. Conway. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. But it's good to be positive, good to be optimistic. No, 70777. 3 sevens at the end. "70777. That's where I live. Google that shit and tell me it's not in the middle of nowhere. 45 minutes from Baton Rouge. And Baton Rouge isn't exactly fucking job central to begin with. Damn it, my nerves were already bad when I woke up. I didn't need somebody fucking telling me I'm making excuses. My life is a fucking nightmare. That's not me making excuses. That's because my life is a fucking nightmare. If you would have asked me a year ago, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen to you? Well, this would be it. off dead. I'm gonna smoke a real cigarette since this guy made my nerves bad. That's 2 I got left. I'm gonna save 1 for tomorrow. Oh look, I got crust all down the side of my face from crying while I sleep. I'm crying while I sleep. Is that just making excuses? You know, at least I'm fucking getting out of bed. Could have stayed there and not fed my animals. I'm doing a monetized live stream, at least trying to make some money, even if it's just a couple of pennies here and there. I got 100 views on the stream yesterday. So what if it went on for, what, 14 hours? Today's probably will too. Because I don't have nothing to do all fucking week. Seriously, who the fuck is this guy? Yemner? Oh, Scott said it's when we're depressed, it's hard to see the woods of the trees. I thought that was him again. Sorry about that, Scott. But this guy that wants me to work on myself, you should be teaching fucking English to Chinese kids. National Trust, huh? Very good. And good morning, Rob. And thanks once again for the pack of cigarettes, Mr. Conway. We got 1 left after this one. These things here, I get 3 packs for $5. It's like $4.78 for 3 packs of these. And that's about how they taste. I'm not smoking weed all day, every day like I used to. Took 3 hits yesterday, got fucking loopy. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me, man. But I don't appreciate people coming in here and fucking telling me I'm making excuses. 23 years old, what the fuck do you know? Sounds a lot to me like he's the one making excuses. And I wasn't making excuses after my mom died. probably had his degree paid for, yeah. Be talking like that to somebody else, probably. You don't know what the fuck I've been through, man. I've been to hell and back enough times in my life already. So wait, I got 3 friendly viewers and only 2 likes. Who didn't click the like button yet? Yeah? Don't forget to, please. I didn't mean to be snooty about Scott's comment. I didn't know that was Scott. Well, thank you, Mr. Rob. And there goes Conway's like, I guess. Thank you, gentlemen. Not that it counts for much, but it makes me feel better at least. Busy making spaghetti, huh? That's right, it's about dinner time for you. It's about 10 minutes to 11 here, something like that. Can't believe I've been watching World War II documentaries just because they're not as depressing as my life. Or maybe a different kind of depressing. I don't know. It's the only fucking thing I can watch that doesn't just remind me of her. Can't even watch Grace Under Fire. Because then I'm just thinking, man, it'd be a wonderfully logical change of events if she was single and like struggling. But no, she's got it fucking made. Where'd this Yimmer fucker go to? Your advice did not apply, so you just go away, huh? I wonder where the fuck they even came from. No, he doesn't. And if bad things wind up happening to him, I'm sorry. I didn't exactly lose all my fucking power, though. That's another thing I keep dreaming about. Keep dreaming about fucking having my fucking weird abilities. Welcome viewer number 3. Feel free to say hello in the chats. Unless you want to tell me I'm making excuses. That's fucking rich. I'm more carefully calculating my resources and trying not to overexpenditure myself. Trying not to overeat so I don't run out of food. Like I did yesterday. Fucking smoked a little pot, got the munchies, wound up eating too much food. And I just skipped dinner. But I think the fact that I'm not smoking pot on a regular basis is pretty much telling of just how hard I'm trying to actually fucking get ahead in the world. It had been a week since the last time I smoked. They go on. Go on. What I don't need is a fucking powerhouse. Jeez, that would really suck. My generator has bad gas in it. And my gas can fucking burst. I don't have a gas can right now. Which is one of the reasons I can't cut my own grass. My lawnmower isn't starting. I think it's just because it's out of gas. I think there's a little bit of bad gas in there too. I'm gonna take some pills. Antidepressants. Anti-anxiety. I have to take 2 of these motherfuckers. No, I'm just gonna take 1. You know, once your DI resin runs out, RODI water tastes a little better. Because deionized water doesn't taste very good. The closest I come to making excuses is those fish tanks right there. Not just sitting there pulling algae out of them. That's the only fucking thing I could be doing that's even remotely productive right now, is just pulling algae out of the fish tanks. I did a little bit yesterday. I just don't fucking feel like it. Poor Rainbow Manipura got fucking killed. Now just Kalerpa taking over everything. I'm glad Karma's still talking to me, though. She's my only other source of hope right now. I got you guys occasionally sending me money on here. It really fucking helps out a lot. But I need a roommate, and she's supposed to be my roommate. And me and her get along pretty damn well. At least it seems like from my end. Oh, yeah. Waking up wanting to fucking chain smoke is no good. But that's how I feel right now. At least my AC's working. About to go check something right quick. Gonna see if my roof was leaking last night. Doesn't feel like it. Oh, yeah. Anyways, how the fuck are y'all doing? Mr. Conway might have a job. Good fucking news. How you doing, Mr. Rob? And Scott, are you still there? Even though I accidentally snapped at you. I thought it was another generic mantra from old boy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris. Chris sure don't know what he's got himself into. I'm sure he thinks he does, but he's gonna find out. Shit can't be all roses. If it was, I wouldn't have the debt collector calling me about my wife's fucking payday loan. Welcome, viewer number 4. Feel free to say hello in the chats. Doing dishes, huh? That's good. I've been cleaning my dishes as soon as I use them. Been trying not to use dishes for the most part. About to smoke another fucking cigarette, man, because I don't know what else to do. I can watch some news. That's about it. I wish I could just fucking go back to sleep. Seems like all I'm good for is taking care of these animals and trying to kill flies. Fuck. And we're back. AC is wonderful, I'll tell you that. I like having air conditioning actually working. I hope that shit doesn't break again anytime soon. Because, boy, my landlord does not like to hear that shit. Yeah, it was good and hot yesterday. The day before it was even hotter, around here at least. Last night it started raining a little bit. It's supposed to be a flash flood watch this evening. Not looking forward to that, because anytime there's a flash flood anything, my fucking yard floods up like a motherfucker. It gets pretty bad. I'm yawning. Oh, maybe I am tired enough to go back to sleep. Pouring rain all week. Yellow on the radar. Flood warnings. Yeah, it'll probably get that way around here, I'll tell you that. It's a big storm system moving all the way through the whole country right now. It was pouring up in Minnesota by Karma yesterday. I'm sure that's not helping her depression. Can't believe what happened to her friend. Fucking pregnant girl got murdered by the boyfriend. It's fucking pathetic, man. I really just wish I could visit with my kids, man. I haven't got to see them for so fucking long. Just worried that the longer it takes, the more they're gonna hate me, you know? The more their fucking mom's lies are gonna sink in. Yeah. I think the one started, I think the older one started to buy into it, though. I think the youngest one just loves me too much. And she takes after me, so, you know, willing to forget and forgive the fact that I made her do chores. But her mom's been telling them that I should have been doing all the chores because I don't work, rather than them learning how to fucking do chores. Yeah, I'm trying not to say too much, but fuck. I'm tired of not being able to talk about it. It's like I don't feel like they're monitoring the fucking broadcast still. And besides, even if they were, YouTube isn't social media. YouTube is a technology platform for publishers. Like, if I was told not to go on TV and talk about it, that'd be one thing. I was told not to make posts on social media, so I haven't been making posts on social media about it. That's Facebook. That's the only social media I have. They didn't say specifically YouTube, so fuck. I can debate that all day long. Bingo, how do you still have fleas, man? You ain't got no fleas. Stop acting like you do. Oh, fuck, he does have fleas. There's another fucking patch growing on his ass. It's only been fucking 4 days, 5 days. What's it, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? 4 days. He's already got another patch of fleas growing on his ass. With the flea drops. With the flea drops. What, are they immune to the shit? Probably. Knowing my luck. Anyways. Dingo, lay down. That's enough. Took you out in the middle of the fucking night last night. You don't need to go out already. Although I probably should take him out before it starts raining again. That poor dog, man. I'm gonna give you another bath Saturday, not a fucking moment sooner. I can't be fucking bathing you like that. Throws my back out to bathe his sorry ass. Boy. But anyways. Not much to talk about and even less to do. Can't turn the light cycle down on my fish tanks. This one I don't have that big of a light cycle, but the reef tank I have a big light cycle on it because I'm trying to keep that rose bubble alive without feeding it. So it needs a lot of light. Fucking tunga trees are growing out of control. I have to start yanking them out and throw them in the other tank for the flame angel to pick on. I would just like to wake up one morning and actually feel motivated to do something instead of just fucking ah. So who wants to listen to the news rather than listen to me sit and bitch?
At Ace, your backyard is in our backyard. Hey, welcome back. Which makes it easy to take care of the things that always...
Of D-Day, they will be live from Normandy. And with us this morning, NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent, the host of KCDC on MSNBC, Casey Hunt, politics editor for the Daily Beast, Sam Stein, former aide to the George W. Bush White House and State Department's Elise Jordan, national security expert, columnist at USA Today, and author of the book, The Death of Expertise, Tom Nichols. We have to talk about Chernobyl. Tom wrote an incredible column about that a couple of days ago. Also with us, the co-founder and CEO of Axios, Jim Vandehei, and White House correspondent for PBS NewsHour, Yamiche Al-Sindor. She is in London for us this morning. Before we go any further, let's go around the table and everyone say their favorite Bette Midler movie. Sam Stein, what's your favorite Bette Midler?
Don't you want to contextualize?
No, I don't. On Morning Joe, what we do is the gag first and the context later.
Well, it's a close call between Hocus Pocus and Beaches, obviously.
I go for First Wives Club.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of fighting and.
I should have gone with that.
Wasn't she the one with Shelley Long?
Sure. Troop Beverly Hills is not for
Was she in Troop Beverly Hills?
No,
I love Troop
they were
Beverly Hills.
in love with the same guy, and it went right out of my head. So I will instead, because I can't remember the name of that one, I'll say For the Boys.
Okay, excellent.
Is Murphy Brown an acceptable answer?
I mean,
It's not a movie.
No, it's TV. She Murphy Brown.
Apparently.
Okay.
Now you're cheating.
on there.
Yeah.
So the context there is that the President of the United States was up in the middle
Run
of
them errands, man.
in the UK about 2 o'clock in the morning, tweeting about Bette Midler, calling her a washed-up psycho. That's all you need to know about that. But that's where
Speaking of which, I gotta pay my cell phone bill right quick.
Or, of course, he had the deferments for college and for bone spurs.
Well, it was right there on the form. Not a fan. Not a fan. Too far away. Haven't heard of this place. So it just failed all the tests, really. But you know, this is the kind of classic. Oh, World War II was the good war. That's the one I would have liked to have fought in. I would have been proud to serve. And that interesting phrasing, as we all noticed when he said it, of well, but I am making up for it. I am giving $700 billion. It's the story gets better with every telling.
And remind me, Willie, what was his personal Vietnam?
Anybody still here?
Please don't remind me.
Showing 0 people watching.
D-Day events in England. President Trump heads to Ireland.
Thanks for hanging out when y'all were
Prime
here.
Minister there and a visit to his golf resort. Let's bring in NBC News Pentagon correspondent
I appreciate
Hans
the
Nichols.
company.
He's live from Shannon, Ireland. Hans, what does the rest of the day look like for the president?
Well, once he gets here, he has a meeting, Willie, with the Prime Minister of Ireland. Now, it's just a brief pull aside. They're basically meeting at the airport, at Shannon Airport, where there are so many refueling flights for U.S. military. There are going to be some potential protests there. They're talking about it. And he's mostly here to visit his property, his resort down in Dune Bay. I hope I got the pronunciation on that right. If not, I'm sure Twitter will let me know. But the controversy there is that there's coastal erosion. And they have tried to build up coastal defenses outside of that golf course. So it's an environmental concern here. Controversy following the president wherever he goes. I'm going to show you a copy of the local paper here. Higgins criticizes Trump on climate. So this is what's going to greet President Trump when he arrives here. He got pomp and circumstances in London. That trip would seem like the president enjoyed it. We'll see whether or not he enjoys what seems to be a little political friction here in Ireland. Willie?
All right, Hans Nichols. Appreciate it. We'll keep an eye on Twitter for you on your pronunciation there. So, Yamish, you're in London, where the president just departed. He just landed in Portsmouth in the south of England, as we said. What's the feeling there in London about the president's 2 days before he headed out of town?
Okay.
Well, the most vocal and loud reactions to President Trump were negative ones. There were thousands of protesters in the streets on both days that he was visiting. And people really told me that they think they see him as a racist. Some people told me they saw him as a global symbol of far-right extremism. And then there were some Make America Great hats there saying that the president should get credit for supporting Brexit before the UK made the vote and decided to leave the European Union. And I think that in some ways the president was trying to pivot, and after he landed and was insulting the mayor of London, he then started taking in the pomp and pageantry and started really following the protocols. And even in his press conference with Theresa May, there were a lot of people who didn't see a lot of fireworks there. But then, of course, he gets back to where he's staying, and he starts tweeting about Bette Midler. And it kind of goes to show you that even in a foreign country where he's really playing the role of a statesman, he's still focused on kind of his brash brand of politics.
So
I sprayed some bug spray straight down the drain in case that's where they're coming from.
Theresa May, it's hard to say. There could be considering she's
Maybe I'll kill
48
larvae
hours
that way.
away from no longer being effectively the president, the prime minister of the UK. What were the objectives, and if there were any, did they deliver on any of them?
I think the objectives were really just for him to be here, for him to take in the state visit. There were no deliverables that I could tell. I talked to members of parliament and experts on the ground here in London, and everyone said Theresa May is really in a position where she's stepping down as head of her party. She's going to be prime minister for a couple more months until the Conservatives find a new leader. But essentially, President Trump was already in some ways pivoting and looking beyond Theresa May because he was meeting with Nigel Farage, which of course is this controversial leader of the Brexit party and someone who was really pushing forward Brexit. He was on the phone with Boris Johnson, who is also someone who's looking to be a contender for the prime minister. So even as he was talking to Theresa May and really focused on his meetings with her, he was really in some ways thinking about all the other people that are going to be players in London and in the UK when she's gone.
So while the president is overseas, Republicans have begun to push back a little bit on his proposed tariffs with Mexico. Vice President Pence is set to welcome a delegation from Mexico to the White House today in an effort to keep new U.S. tariffs on imports from taking effect. The meeting comes as the 5% tariff on all Mexican goods faces growing resistance from Republican lawmakers, voiced during a policy lunch between GOP senators and Trump administration lawyers yesterday. Two Republican sources say Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin warned lawmakers could deal the president an embarrassing rebuke if he moves forward, stressing, "I think the administration ought to be concerned about another vote of disapproval." According to the New York Times, Senator Ted Cruz told the White House
or higher prices for products, and so in all likelihood it'll get resolved before that, but you don't know. There's always
of course it had to reconnect while I walked away.
He would slap the tariffs on Mexico in the first place, and he keeps saying he's going to go through with
Sorry
it.
about that.
So we'll see.
So, Yamiche, the president yesterday, we saw at that news conference, the joint news conference with Theresa May, said Republicans would be foolish, effectively, to push back.
Sorry about that. It had to buffer as soon as I walked away for a second.
How do you see
I was brushing my teeth and shaving.
Well, I think the president is really daring Republicans to try him, and I think it's because he feels as though at the end of the day, he's the person who their constituents are loyal to. I'm thinking of a conversation that I had with Trump supporters who were actually going to be losing some money, housing through HUD, some money to fix their roof. And I said, you know, this money, if this goes through, it's gonna hurt you. You're not going to be able to fix your home. And that person said to me, this was in Ohio, well, it's okay because what we need, even if our roof caves in, we need to make sure that Mexicans aren't going through the border, and we need to make sure that our country's safe. I think the president's banking on a lot of people thinking that way. I can't say that there are a lot of Trump supporters who would have their own personal homes collapse in thinking about immigration, but I think there's this idea that the president really feels as though he sold people on this really hardline stance on immigration, and that they're going to follow him to the ends of the earth in pursuit of that goal. I think that the way that this ends is I think Republicans are going to be trying to send really hard messages to the president, but I would be really
Still here, Mr. Conway.
Republicans
Cool.
then overrode a veto of the president if they try to pass a bill to disapprove.
See if I can increase it.
And the president vetoes it.
All right, Michelle Sindor in London, thank you very much. By the way, there's a quote, if you continue to read that New York Times.
It's a great idea.
Senator John Kennedy, the Republican of Louisiana, he talked to President Trump on Sunday. He said of the tariffs, quote, he's committed to this. He's serious as 4 heart attacks and a stroke. He's moving forward. So at least Senator John Kennedy is committed.
4 heart attacks and a stroke.
You got the rhetorical flourish.
Yes, no for that. Jim Van Hy, thank you very much as well.
You can't get enough of them rhetorical flourishes.
The tariff threat against Mexico is not the only area where Republican lawmakers are breaking with the president. There's also Saudi Arabia and the administration's move to bypass Congress by selling weapons to that kingdom. Senator Chris Murphy from the Foreign Relations Committee joins us next on that story. But first,
I just cut the filter on this thing because maybe it'll satisfy me a little more.
Good morning to you, Willie. An active weather returns.
Probably not going to help my throat, though.
Before you head out the door this morning. Last night, storms rolled through the Minneapolis area and southern Minnesota. We had some wind damage reported, a lot of lightning, and we had problems with the flooding, too. Even some vehicles getting caught there in some high waters in a few spots. So let's get into the forecast, and there's some of those cars that got stalled out. All right, so today, 31 million people at risk of severe storms. Not so much tornadoes, but wind damage and large hail anywhere from St. Louis right through southern Indiana, the Louisville, Lexington, Cincinnati areas, Knoxville, Charlotte, Greenville, Columbia, all the way through Raleigh. So a big chunk. Notice that Washington, D.C. is not in the
Showing 0 people watching, Mr. Conway.
This afternoon. The other story, Houston is horrible when it floods. floods. The roads flood, and the morning rush hour is going to be a nightmare. Torrential rains over the city right now. It should last for the next couple hours, so that's going to be very slow at the airport, too. And eventually, over the next 3 to 4 days, this big rain event moves all the way through the south, including Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. They don't have the horrible flooding like they did in areas like St. Louis and Arkansas, but we could see some new flooding in those areas. And there's those storms even in New York City late this afternoon.
Boy,
So again,
flooding in
anywhere east from
Louisiana.
Dallas,
That means
grab
me.
the umbrella as you head out towards today with hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. So again, New York City timing about 5 to 7 DC.
The weather takes a gentle piss around here. It'll flood in my yard.
You can see your storms. You're watching Morning Joe. We'll be right back.
16 days after agents of Saudi Arabia murdered Washington Post columnist and United States President Jamal Khashoggi at their consulate in Istanbul, the Trump administration approved the transfer of sensitive nuclear technology to Saudi Arabia. It was one of the 2 times the administration allowed U.S. energy firms to export nuclear technology and expertise to Saudi Arabia since Khashoggi's murder on October 18th of last year and also this past February. Democratic Senator Tim Kaine revealed these approvals yesterday, citing records given to Congress, congressional staffers from both parties, and an energy...
welcome viewer number 2. Feel free to say hello in the chat.
NBC News. More than 2 months ago, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee requested details from the administration on 7 transfers of nuclear expertise to Saudi Arabia, including the timing of the approvals. On October 17th, 1 day
and 2 roll-ups.
before the initial approval, President Trump
this works.
publicly defended the Saudis, saying they're, quote, a very important ally because
Diarrhea.
tremendous purchase
Hello,
of arms and
LOL.
military equipment. Saudi Arabia plans to build nuclear
Well, nice
power
to meet you,
plants,
Miss
but so
Gaia.
far has refused to agree
Is that
to
a Miss
safeguards to
Gaia?
ensure it does not develop nuclear weapons. In addition,
Always
late
happy
last
to have a
month, the
female
Trump
viewer around here.
administration bypassed Congress and invoked a rarely used
Let me get my
national
posture a little
emergency
better.
provision to authorize 22
Greeting a lady.
separate arms sales to Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Jordan. Democratic Senator Bob Menendez and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham are now teaming up to introduce 22 resolutions of disapproval in an attempt to block those deals. Joining us now, one of the sponsors of that legislation, member of the Foreign Relations Committee, Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Senator, good to have you with us this morning. Walk us through what happened here.
How are you doing today?
And what your protest against it are.
So the president and his administration act as if the Saudis are the senior partner in this relationship. And what has happened is that there has been absolutely no consequences to Saudi Arabia for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi and the continued imprisonment and torture of other U.S. residents inside Saudi Arabia. And the message that we are sending to the world is one of absolute grave weakness. In fact, Saudi Arabia has been rewarded for their murder of Khashoggi because, as we now
I had some sleep. I just can't seem to get enough sleep because I don't want to be awake. Like, it's a borderline suicidal kind of thing.
to what we call the gold standard of civilian nuclear activity.
Just reality is just kind of painful for me.
And now the president is going around Congress to sell them weapons that are going to be used to perpetuate
Why are you tired?
Potential war crimes in Yemen. These are the bombs we're selling them that they end up dropping on civilians inside Yemen. It's an inexplicable move by the administration. And, for many of us,
I think I fell asleep at about 7 p.m. last night.
Of the Trump family's personal relationship with the
Woke up
Saudis.
again at
There's a lot of
midnight.
money that historically
Went to
has
sleep from
flowed
like 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
individuals to the Trump family fortune, to their real estate empire, and that has to be part of the explanation as to why they continue to bend over backwards to try to make the Saudis happy despite all of their malevolent activity.
Let's underline again here, twice after the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, including once 16 days after his murder, these sales were made, and again on February the 18th, about 4 months after the death of Jamal Khashoggi, transferring nuclear
Your dog
technology
keeps
to the
escaping.
Saudis.
Well, that's not good.
So,
How does he keep getting out?
This beyond the personal relationships? I mean, the president.
Can you mend the fence or something?
There in that quote I read a few minutes ago, where he said they're a big purchaser. They're the reason that we are not condemning them the way we ought to be condemning them after the murder of a U.S. resident and a Washington Post journalist, frankly, is because of a business deal, perhaps like the ones we're talking about here.
Yeah, so I think there are two additional ways to explain it, and you hinted at one. First, the president views every foreign relationship as transactional, and so as long as you're buying things from the United States, he doesn't see any reason why your human rights record or the other things you do to contradict American national security should stand in the way of us selling you things. But, you know, we all know that there has to be a moral line that a country can cross so that we get out of business with them. You wouldn't sell your neighbor a gun if you knew that they were going to use that gun to kill someone in their household. And that's what we're doing with the Saudis. We're selling them weapons that we know they're going to turn around and use to kill civilians inside Yemen.
At least my dog is well behaved as far as staying by the house goes. Which is good because I don't have a fence in my yard. I just let him out. He goes and does his business and comes back inside. Sometimes I got to yell at him, but
so that's why President Trump went first to Saudi Arabia. The problem is the president's committing nuclear proliferation.
That's only because he's deaf.
Practice because he's pulled out of the Iran agreement, and by selling the Saudis nuclear technology,
damn near deaf
it
anyways.
makes it much more likely that the Iranians are going to restart their nuclear program if they see that the Saudis have a head start. So, you know, this is absolutely disastrous, and there's no real way to explain it through traditional national security lenses.
Senator Murphy, Elise Jordan here. Thank you for continuing to speak out against the United States selling these arms to fund a
You know, I don't even know where a leash or collar is for him.
starvation in Yemen. We see the Saudi influence throughout
I used to have one. I don't know where the hell it went.
I'm curious about your opinion if they are indeed emboldened right now. Looking at what's happening in Sudan with 60 protesters being killed over the last few days and those widespread protests there that the Saudis are involved in, are they more emboldened to
I like your
pursue
name,
their
Miss
own
Diarrhea.
agenda in the region and an agenda that could be contrary to American interest?
I think that we
Almost sounds like you're trolling the goddess, but
in our national security
are you?
interests to get so deeply involved in a series of unfolding proxy wars throughout the Middle East between the Saudis and the Iranians. That's
I know the next woman I get with has to be named after a
the
goddess.
Iranians are bad actors, and we absolutely should have a policy of trying to stop them from expanding
Right.
their influence in the region. But the Saudis are bad actors as well. Remember, the extremist groups that we continue to fight all around the world are Sunni extremist groups. They are
Because the last woman I was with pretended to be a goddess, just to fuck with my head. But oh boy, did she succeed.
The day comparable to the miserable human rights record of the Iranians. And so I think it makes sense for the United States to step back here and come to the conclusion that, well, we don't want Iran to gain much more of a foothold. We also
I'm probably one of the few people on YouTube who's proven that I'm an ancient reincarnated being.
To fight proxy wars around the region. I brought a disapproval motion before the Senate under the Obama administration to stop.
And she pretended to be my ancient love.
I got about 20 votes for that, and I'm really glad that Senator Graham and many other Republicans are going to support us in this.
But the main way my whole life makes sense right now is
Senator Tom Nichols here.
stopping giving her credit for that.
Underlying all this, aside from the
She was just fucking bullshitting me the whole time.
There's a huge separation of powers problem going on here.
Did a good job,
Which is
too.
that when the president doesn't want to deal with Congress, he declares an emergency and governs by fiat. Is
Did a
there
hell
a
of a
plan
job.
for dealing with this larger problem of the
Did a hell of a number on me.
years of the enlargement of executive power, but really something I think the president seems to have put on steroids.
And took all of my heart with her.
A Republican senator yesterday who said that they wanted a Article 1 working group where we would get together and talk about restoring our Article 1 powers. That sounds like a nice idea in theory, but we really don't have to sit down and talk about how to restore our Article 1 powers. We know how to do it. This week we could take up legislation to stop the president's out-of-control tariff policy. The Senate Republicans could choose to restrain that power. We could easily...
But I hope this isn't a one-time visit for you. You should subscribe and come back more often.
To use this emergency loophole to sell arms to the Saudis. You know, in this case, my worry is that if the president uses some vague emergency in the Middle East in order to go around Congress to sell arms to the
Yeah, I
Saudis,
feel you there.
normally Congress has the right to disapprove of any arms sale.
My heart's been pretty thoroughly ripped out, that's for sure.
Weigh in on an arms sale again, because there's always be some emergency somewhere in the Middle East that would allow a president to say that they can't take the time to come to Congress. So if Republicans don't step up right now on the tariff issue, on the arms sale issue, then I think.
But the next woman for me is going to be named Gaia or Karma or something like that.
An imperial presidency from a foreign policy standpoint, which is not what the Constitution drafters envisioned.
Senator, your colleagues in the Senate on the Republican side had a meeting on a different issue yesterday with some officials from the White House, and that is about the proposal of these tariffs on Mexico. We heard in different reporting from Ted Cruz, Mitch McConnell himself saying we don't like tariffs, this is a bad idea. Senator Cruz reported to have told White House officials, go back to the White House and tell them you didn't hear a single yes from Republicans.
Take it easy, Mr. Conway. Thanks for hanging out, brother. Appreciate it.
Will be at least one moment where Republicans step up to the president.
Yeah, Karma's a cool name. I'm talking to a girl named Karma right now, as a matter of fact. She might be my roommate. I desperately need a roommate.
They have communicated to him that some of his nominees
More than I need a woman, I need a roommate.
They wouldn't find favor in the Republican caucus, and he pulled them. But then you also had Chuck Schumer, essentially telling him he didn't believe he would actually go forward with it, which caused the president to double down and back himself into a deeper corner. And so it's not clear whether the Republicans' normal tactics.
You're not leaving, are you?
Signal to the president that he's gone too far in this case will work. And if the president calls their bluff, there's really no precedent for them actually using their Article 1 powers to stop him. With lots of complaints, but not a lot of action.
I guess not.
Unfortunately,
yeah, stick around. I like having you here.
If he moves forward with the tariffs on Mexico, I would be surprised.
Oh, and thanks for clicking the like button.
In the Senate, actually go forward with a confrontation with him. They've never wanted one before. I'd be pleasantly surprised if they do it, but unlikely.
And again, the president said yesterday overseas Republicans would be, quote, foolish to cross him on this. Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, thanks so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And in our next hour, we'll speak to Senator Tim Kaine, who yesterday revealed those Saudi deal approvals. Still ahead on Morning Joe, new reporting that Russia's effort to meddle in the 2016 election was better planned and also more lucrative.
Oh, you'll be back around 11 p.m.?
NBC's Ken Delanian joins us with that new reporting next on Morning Joe. Project to manipulate American
bye. It was nice seeing you.
2016 election
nice to meet you.
Better planned and executed than previously known, according to a new cybersecurity firm analysis.
I'll probably be here.
Of nearly 10 million tweets.
Lord knows I ain't got nothing else to do.
Report NBC News intelligence and
especially not on a rainy day like this.
Ken Delanian. Ken, good morning. So the headline is Russian trolls who interfered in the 2016 election also made ad money. What does that mean exactly?
Good morning, Willie. Well, what it means is that some of these trolls who, remember, were working out of a building in St. Petersburg, Russia.
So who's still here?
Software that pushes an ad to a person who would click on the link that they were tweeting out of these fake accounts. And they got paid a little bit for every single one of those clicks. And that's actually very common.
I gotta lay down just so I can stop smoking cigarettes.
Sophisticated government hackers. They don't get paid that much. And we often see them freelancing as cyber criminals on the side. The larger sort of
just lean away from
of
them.
This, we've known a lot, obviously, about the Internet Research Agency run by Putin's chef, Evgeny Prigozhin, out of St. Petersburg. They were indicted by Robert Mueller. They were mentioned in the Mueller report. But what
now there's nobody here. Damn.
Archive of the tweets, some 10 million tweets from nearly 4,000 accounts connected with this group. And now cybersecurity firms are digging into this stuff and seeing what we can learn. And this is new research out this morning from Symantec. And what they essentially found is, in addition to this money-making scheme, this campaign was better organized, better planned, more well-coordinated than we had previously understood. And it was pretty darn sophisticated. And they used a core group of accounts that masqueraded as news organizations like San Jose News or New Orleans Times. And they pushed out fake news aimed at the extremes of both sides of the political divide. And then they used a larger series of automated
Anybody still here?
To massively retweet this stuff. And
Anybody?
Americans who retweeted it.
Bueller.
And, it's really hard to measure the impact of this, Willie, but it's clearly a lot of people saw this Russian propaganda during the 2016 election.
Hey, Ken, it's Casey. How much money are we talking about here? Like, if I'm a Russian hacker freelancing on the side, trying to take advantage of the American electorate, like, how lucrative is that?
Well, in the case of one,
very lucrative.
They found that it could have made nearly $1 million. So not a bad payday for people who are essentially, clerks and out of work, sort of laborers who found themselves in these hourly paid jobs at the Internet Research Agency. So these weren't sophisticated people necessarily who were doing this, but the messaging and the organization came down through the Kremlin, the U.S. government believes. And the real takeaway here, Casey, is that one of my takeaways is that the U.S. government and the social media companies have yet to figure out a way to stop this. And it's happening again. Just last week, I wrote about a campaign based in Iran that was seeking to manipulate American public opinion through Twitter and Facebook, and Twitter and Facebook shut down the accounts.
That's what I've been saying.
They were outed essentially by another cybersecurity firm. But there's really no strategy, and it's very difficult to see how one would exist to combat this. And it's not just happening with foreign governments. It's happening in American elections. Americans do this as well. This fake news problem on social media is getting out of control, and we all need to come to grips with how to deal with it.
Ken, let's hone in on one particular account that really upset me during the election just because I couldn't understand why this Tennessee GOP handle was so mean to me and just really had this visceral dislike of me on Twitter, trolling me.
It's a personal
And
story.
but not just me, because this was indeed the most successful account. And so can you talk a little bit about the scope and reach of that particular troll?
Yeah, at 10 GOP, which was masquerading as Tennessee Republicans, they gained 150,000 followers, more than 10,000 tweets, garnered 6 million retweets. So, and this is by some very prominent people across the political spectrum. And some other news organizations have done an analysis of the content of 10 GOP, and some of it was, really racist, really divisive, a lot of sort of far-right memes, white nationalism. It was some bad stuff mixed with messages that many mainstream Republicans would embrace, and Americans thought these were other Americans. That's the point, and it was Russian propagandists based in St. Petersburg who were doing this.
And can we
Yep,
know that they're ramping
just
up
like I was
again
saying
for 18
at the
months or
time.
so away from another presidential election? Based on what you know, based on people you've talked to,
Nobody
are we
wanted to
better
believe me.
prepared for the 22 election in terms of fighting this kind of stuff than we were 4 years ago?
We're a little better prepared, Willie, because before the 2016 election, almost nothing was being done about this. The social media companies weren't reacting at all. Now, for example, Facebook has a team of people that are going out and looking for fake accounts and foreign influence. But we're not nearly where we need to be, and it's not even clear that these companies can do this by themselves. The FBI is working very closely with the social media companies, but when you ask who in the Trump administration is in charge of this effort, where's the whole of government approach to this national crisis, you don't get an answer. Donald Trump is not interested in this, and it's going to happen again. You're absolutely right. The intelligence agencies have warned that it's continuing to happen and will happen again. And people think of election interference as hacking the vote and getting into the voting machines, and that's a threat. But we have a very disparate voting system in this country. It's very difficult to make a meaningful impact there. It's much easier with this propaganda. People can establish fake accounts, get a campaign going, and all of a sudden they're influencing public opinion with very little money and very little effort.
Well, it's such a fascinating story. It's on NBCnews.com right now. NBC's Ken Delaney, and thanks so much, Ken. It is extraordinary time when you consider the scope of the problem and the fact that it's still there, and that's not my suspicion. That's the intel agency saying it's happening again now, and it's going to happen in our next presidential election, that nothing's being done about it, or at least not enough.
Robert Mueller told us this. We were attacked by the Russian government, particularly by a Russian military intelligence arm of the government. And I think Ken's story shows you the sheer size of this and scope of the effort that the Russian government itself was willing to put into this attack, because it's a low-cost, high-payoff attack. This kind of astroturfing and planting of fake stories is something that's like peanuts.
What Ken was talking about is the last war, really, right? When you look forward, the sophistication of the disinformation campaign is going to make 2016 look quite
fake videos,
deep fakes, things like that. And it's not obviously, of course, not obviously just the purview of the Russians or any foreign actors. We saw a couple weeks ago a manipulated Nancy Pelosi video making her look drunk, basically, was viewed by millions of people before people understood that it was, fake and taken down from the internet. And that was just some guy in the Bronx kind of creating his own video. So,
and Facebook was like, sorry, we're going to leave it up. We're just going to tell you, here's the fact check.
Right. And, okay, well, my wife works for Facebook. I will say, there's a very difficult question that every social media company has to confront in this day and age, which is, at what line does a manipulated video become pernicious, and do you take it down? Is a video just sort of casually, mocking, Nancy Pelosi by, putting little quirks into the video? Is that something you have to take down, or is it now pernicious enough? And so each social media company has to figure out the ultimate regime in which they're policing their own activities, and they're not even close, it seems, to figuring that out.
And it's still going to be a brute. The other thing the Russians will do again, it will be a brute force attack. It will be fire hosing, so that nobody, Facebook, Instagram, nobody's going to be able to keep up with that many fakes coming through the pipeline, and that's going to be their goal.
Yes, it's a total fire hose.
Well, it's not just Russia. If you're a hostile foreign power, what would stop you or disincentivize you from interfering when the Russians face little to no consequences?
That's right. And it's interesting, in Ken's report, a lot of these accounts were created between May and August of 2014, before they knew Donald Trump was in it. They just want to sow chaos. But later we learned from Robert Mueller and others that Russia put his thumb on the scale for Donald Trump. Still ahead on Morning Joe, strict new abortion laws are creating battle lines in the Democratic presidential primary ahead of 2020. Heidi Priscilla has the reporting on Joe Biden's decades-long evolution on the issue that some may not know about it. Morning Joe is coming right back.
Wait,
Fake videos.
Fake videos, deep fakes, things like that. It's not obviously, of course, not obviously just the purview of the Russians or any foreign actors. I mean, we saw a couple weeks ago a manipulated Nancy Pelosi video making her look drunk, basically, was viewed by millions of people before people understood that it was, fake and taken down from the internet. And that was just some guy in the Bronx kind of creating his own video. So,
and Facebook was like,
hire staff through diversity training. It comes after Grammy Award-winning R&B singer SZA said that she was racially profiled while shopping for Fenty beauty products, a brand that she's modeled for, by the way. SZA said that an employee at a California store called security to make sure that she wasn't stealing. It begs the question, do these kinds of trainings actually work? Does diversity training work? Well, we wanted to go to an expert. We found Katie Milkman. She's a professor at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. This year, she released a study that tackles that very question. Katie, thanks so much for your time. Walk us through this study. Our viewers and our listeners on Sirius Satellite Radio, what did you learn about how people respond to diversity training?
Well, we ran an experiment with about 3,000 employees of a global firm, and we randomly assigned some of them to experience diversity training and others not to, and we measured whether their attitudes changed and their behaviors changed after. And the news isn't great. Unfortunately, what we found is that while diversity training did shape attitudes in a positive way, it actually had almost no effect on behaviors, which is really what these organizations are trying to change.
Why is that?
Well, I think part of it is just that this is a very deep problem, and a lot of these diversity trainings are short, and they focus on trying to change a lifetime of bias that builds up throughout our experiences. It's hard to do that in an hour, no matter how great the messaging and how rigorous the science.
Implicit bias or explicit bias, or both?
Both, yeah. Our training focused on both because there's no reason to believe that these kinds of incidents are exclusively one kind of bias or the other. And the results are really, unfortunately, consistent across past research that this does not seem to be a silver bullet.
So is the diversity training itself merely a PR stunt?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think there's a lot of hope out there that these kinds of solutions will work. So I do think there's a PR element, right? When you have an incident like this, you have to respond. And if you don't, in fact, I think that's really negative in terms of what it says about the organization's commitment to these kinds of problems. So I wouldn't call it a stunt so much much as the right approach is to think about how can we strongly respond. Unfortunately, the evidence does not suggest it's going to solve the problem alone.
So Ford did issue a statement to NBC News, and the company said that these workshops were actually planned before SZA tweeted that she was profiled. The company writing in part, quote, while it is true that SZA's experience occurred prior to the launch of the We Belong to Something Beautiful campaign, the campaign was not the result of this tweet. However, it does reinforce why belonging is now more important than ever. Our entire organization is excited to set aside this time to recommit to building an environment of inclusion. As a guy who has been profiled in more stores than I could count, I can tell you that this is a problem that afflicts a lot of folks, and it's been a problem, I mean, my entire life. What's the solution? I know that's a big question for a cable news program at 11:45 on a Wednesday morning, but what, if anything, do we know about how we solve this problem?
Well, I'm glad you're asking it, even if it is a big question for this time of day and for a cable news program. We're asking it too, and I think the answer, the best answer we have is structural change. That if we want to change these kinds of problems, we have to do more than an hour of diversity training. We need to have engagement with this problem that goes on and on and on, and we need to change systems inside of organizations. We need to change the way we hire, the way we impress upon people, our values. That's the kind of change that's needed to tackle something.
In Ireland, roughly an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, he'll be speaking briefly with the Prime Minister of Ireland before making his way to Normandy, of course, for tomorrow's 75th anniversary, the commemoration ceremony of D-Day. Again, President Trump there in